I haven't started the audio yet. Just came on to make sure everything was working before 7 o'clock. Bart, can you hear that? Can you hear me now? Still no audio? Wonder if it's not getting passed through. Oh, it should be. Son of a gun. Give me 2 seconds. This is why I started early. There's definitely audio on YouTube, right? Can you hear me on Instagram now? Okay, good. So YouTube, we definitely have audio. Still no audio on Instagram. Still no audio on Instagram. 1 second. Still no audio. Son of a gun. Let me see. Hello, hello, hello. Still no audio. I think we're going to have to abandon Instagram and just go with YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. Well, YouTube, you get audio, so fortunately I don't have a second microphone. Should have tested this earlier. But now you'll see me sweating. Okay. I'm just going to make a quick post. My failure on Instagram. If anybody knows, I think there's a couple of software packages that will allow you to simultaneously do it. So I think I'm going to look into those. StreamYard and Restream, I think. So, Russell, oh my God. You really don't want to see me sweating like that. Okay. Well, we got a few people here. Yeah, it's not going to work. Hey, Bart. Sorry, Instagram, I think this device that I had worked last time, but it's not passing audio through, and I have no idea how to fix it at this point. But that's why I did this as a kind of a practice run, and it's going to be recorded on YouTube so I can break it up and put it on Instagram later as well. So how is everybody? Stream is healthy. I don't know why that's not working. Probably get copyright strike for playing somebody else's video. I trimmed my nose hairs, Russell. Hi, Lisa. I got those pens out, getting the insides polished. Chris from Butter Knife helps me out by doing the internal polishing, so they're going to look really good. And then I got a few more that hopefully they'll be ready for a release in a couple of weeks' time, right at the beginning of December. What I can do is show you what I'm doing here and over here. So you can see my screen up there now. There we go. So this is, some of you might know, some might not. This is my first model. It's the Parnell model. Let's see, go back to, this here is my Parnell model. Now it has a clip, but this was the first pen I ever made. First model I ever made. And this one here is my personal Parnell from that original batch. And it has a clip. And works okay. But I'm redesigning this model right now because, as most of you pen makers out there will know, you shouldn't have a pen that just fastens by the threads. It should have a positive stop. If you look at Christopher, the positive stop is right here. So it screws up, tightens against that. It's not just the threads holding it. Where this is just the threads. If I gave that a crank, I could probably snap the cap. So the idea is to redesign it. And if you look here, this will be the positive stop. I'm trying to put a little angle on it to just guide it into home, and then it'll fasten on the threads here. So that's going to be the inside, and then the finial will screw in down here, and there'll just be this little pocket of air that should be sealed here and here and not dry out much. So that's what I've been working on pen-wise. Sorry, forgot my little headlight there. The bags under my eyes are bad, so I need a little light, little front light to help them. Don't be nervous, Lisa. Those pens are looking really, really good. They actually they look great even without the insides polished, so they're going to look spectacular. They're going to look spectacular with the insides polished. So yeah, the positive stop. Again, because I'm a self-taught pen turner / machinist now, I don't know these things. And my good friend who's been helping me a lot, he's a full-time machinist, and he's the one that taught me about that, positive stop. You really shouldn't have something fastened just on the threads. That's why, bolts tighten down, have a nut, lock nut, all those sorts of things. So I'm trying to improve all of my models over time. Smaller air gaps, tighter fitting, less air to get in so they don't dry out, all those sorts of things. That's kind of like the next step for me. All right, so tonight is all about maker pens, and that's my collection. So, well, it's most of my collection. There's some stuff missing, and I have some stuff that we're gonna unpack as well. I just need to figure out. I just need to do a post to Instagram to try and get people over onto YouTube. So give me 1 second and have a nice gander at those pens. Well, hopefully people will see that. Yeah, so there's just tons of little things. Um, should be tons of little things about pen making that you learn. The more you learn about different manufacturers and the way they do things. Yeah, Bart, since you're here, let's do that before we go through the older stuff. Let's do some new stuff. So I'm going to get this out of the way. We'll go through that in a bit, but let me find Bart's River City. Hello, Bart Connor. So Bart, just so you know, I cut the end, but I haven't looked at the pen yet. So this is my first Zodiac Pen Company pen. So we'll take a look. Oh, now I remember which one I ordered. That's a cute little pen. I don't think I did get a nib. Awesome. So let me try something here. Here's my nib cam. So that looks like probably broad, double broad. Nice big nib. Alrighty. Choose the right pen. So that's good. That's a nice one that I'll have to ink up at some point. Thanks, Bart. Argent Coast, yeah, Bob Dupress stuff, right? Oh, the back side of the card. Should I do it live? Ah, there we go. Argent Coast, the Virgo model. Joe number 6 broad. Perfect. Awesome. That's one. Let's do number 2. Of course, the master of everything in the box. So those of you who don't know, John Tello is a graphic artist, as you can see by all the stuff he packs in. How to ink your Hello Tellos, option 1. Option 2. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, a little sticker pack and a business card. Jeepers. I need to up my game. I thought I was doing pretty good. This is incredible. And likely a note. Awesome. Boy, his writing's a lot better than mine. And he did come visit the workshop and then came up to the Toronto show with me. All right. Now, I have no idea. I can't remember what pen I ordered from him. Even more. Holy cow. Now I remember. Of course, it's got his signature glass work in the end. And that is Conway Stewart Friesian. Of course, I didn't order a nib because I have lots of Bach nibs here. So I will probably... Wow, that's nice. Woohoo! I will probably put in a gold nib. I think I have a couple. Yeah. I may do a follow-up with some of these, ink them up and write with them. You know, the maker community is great. We support each other. I actually ordered all these after the fiasco in Florida last year, where I didn't have any pens, but then the following weekend I had the best sales weekend of my best sales weekend of the probably ever, and it was all because the makers all, you know, put things out there and, you know, really got the community behind me. So I took some of that money and reinvested it and bought some pens from the makers that were shouting me out. So my first River City pen as well. Lilac. Another Brooks material, or not Brooks, sorry, Bob Dupris material. With a clip. These are a surprise to me because I ordered them a year ago. And again, we'll go to the nib cam. I'm sure that's probably a broad as well. Yeah, nice and clean. Hopefully be a smooth writer. What do you think of the nib cam? Oops. Oh, hey Dan, how are you? Cool. So that's my first River City pen. Put that one aside. And then, last but not least, I bought a Heinz pen. Lots of stickers. I'm going to have to get more water bottles. And being a maker, you of course sent a few blanks along with the order as well. So these are a year old. I should use these soon too. Alright, what did I order from Jim? Alright. Heinz pen. There we go, and I should, yes, we'll go back to the nib cam for this one. So that's his Heinz pen, green coated. I think it's a ceramic coating that he does. Very cool. Very cool. That's good. Okay. So that's the last of the unboxed pens. So if we go by here, so I'm just trying to think what's going to be the best way to go through these. Maybe in kind of groups. I'll grab these two. Again, I'm just going to start from the top and come across. That's the easiest way. These are Hello Tello pens again. This one has a bit of stone in the end instead of glass work. And it was one of his... this was a limited edition charity pen that he did, and with a collaboration on the nib. So again, very neat. I bought this from him at one of the shows, I think. Maybe DC. And then this is one of his 3-piece model. So again, I haven't put any ink in it yet. Well, thanks, Darren. Yeah, I fussed over the lighting. You would laugh if you saw this place. It looks all fun, but behind the scenes it's still a bit of a chaos. But I'm getting it all put together, the cables and everything. So those are Hello Tello pens. Now this one, I am not certain. So what you find out about me is that I don't necessarily have a great memory. Maybe somebody can help me out. It's an Osprey. So I don't know where it came from, but it's a cute little pen. Now this. This pen, the name escapes me. Wait 1 second. Derek. This was my Secret Santa pen last year. So Derek, I think, is a newer maker. Nice pen, nice finish. Okay. And then he's probably not here because in England they're 5-6 hours ahead of us. But these are my pens from across the pond. Den's pens. All nicely made pens. I'm able to grab these ones in groups because these are all Brooks pens. So this first one was that Mullen Moth when he did the live broadcast and did the mix. And then took a while to get the pens out. I bought one that night that he did the mix. That's the Mullen Moth. Good Intentions. I think this is that melted crayon. I think this is melted crayon. And then really lovely matte. I love this color. Love, love, love that color. So those are my 4 Brooks pens. Scriptorium. Again, this is another Conway Stewart material I really love, and I have wanted one of her pens. And this seemed like the perfect one to get. Turquoise Fleck. One of my favorite materials. Haha. And I think this is my maker pen, Secret Santa pen from a couple years ago. Another new maker whose name I forget. And he made a ballpoint, which is something I've only ever done once. But that's neat. Okay. I'm going to skip that one just for a minute because it's going to make me sad. Mythic Pens, Brad. So this is the pen that I received in a trade with Brad that made me realize that my finish game needed to be upped. So when I got that from Brad, I thought, oh yeah, I got to get better at finishing my pens. And then just recently at the DC show, we got together and I did another trade for this one, which is awesome. And I put a black Jowo oxide nib in it. I think I'm going to laser something on there as well. So those are my Mythic pens. Another one from just recent, my Shown Design little ballpoint. I can't seem to get together. That's neat. His, like, the finishes he gets on the metalwork is, you know, I used to think I would do metal pens, but no, I don't think I could get that good. So I'll stick with the resins. Okay. And again, so this is a Brooks Material Calico Koi, and this is Motor City pens. I believe I got this from him at DC 2 years ago. Of course, not inked, like most of my pens. But yeah, good finish on this too, so he's been doing well. And then this is butter knife with copper accents, which is neat. It's tarnishing, which I love. So that's butter knife. And here's my Newton. I got this from him at DC 2 years ago as well. That nib looks awful small in this big thick pen, but I tell you what, it is comfortable to write with. So that's my Sean Newton Pens pen. And then a couple more, I'm not quite sure. Oh, this is Walltown. That's Brett's. And then this one, I think, you know what? I think this has got to be, I think that's Den's pens as well. Now there's some pens that I couldn't find, like Meg's Ophelia and those sorts of things. So those I haven't seen. So now that's the top row. So those are all the other makers' pens. This bottom row was just kind of a little bit of a history of London Pen Co. So I'll grab this group first. So most makers start out making kit pens. That's what all of these are. You know, these ones inexpensive roller or ballpoint kit pens. This is made more recent with some cool ebonite. I'm loving these like really big pencils, big lead, tiny pencil with big lead. This is one of the first attempts at any kind of acrylic, and I was really happy with how it turned out. So I kept it. That's those, but these are the Emperors. So a lot of you makers, would know these were like $50, $60, $70 kits back in the day. And I made these specifically for my dad for Christmas and Father's Day and his birthday and stuff like that. So those were, kit pens, and I still make the pencils. I still make the Canadiana style with the little maple leaves because there's a lot of people in my life that don't use fountain pens but still would like a pen. And these actually, I believe, take Bach nibs. That was one of the first things, first foray into nibs was replacing the nibs that came with them with Bock nibs, which made my dad happier because they were much better than the nibs that came in them. Fast forward to 2019. That's these pens. So this was my first sort of foray into kitless or componentless, however you want to say it. So these pens are called the Parnell model, named after John Parnell in our club. He was the person that helped me the most kind of get to learn how to make pens. You know, obviously you can see how much better this one is made than this one. This one doesn't work as well, but I got better at it. But again, it still needs to be redesigned. So that's what I'm working on now. So then I went to the Ritchie, and this is the only one I can find of the Ritchie model, and it's a posting pen with a clip. And shortly after I redesign the Parnell, I'll be putting these back into production too. I should have both these pens ready for DC next year. Again, it needs a positive stop inside as well. Then the Christopher. The Christopher 13, then 14. So these were some of the ones that I kept. So this one I kept because it's the only piece other than that, other than this pen, it's the only other piece of that material I've ever found. So that will always be with me. This again is another one where it was just a unique piece of material, and I could only make one, so I kept it. And this one I kept just because it was freaky. This was just playing around and made the material. Then this was a material that looked like hell in the raw, and when I buffed it, I said, oh, I'm keeping that, and I kept this one. It doesn't happen very often, but occasionally it happens where you just get a piece of material and you say, wow, I love it. And of course this one is my PM1 Lite. Somebody had selected it, then she decided she didn't want it, and I just thought, well, you know what, I don't have a PM1 Lite, so I'm keeping this one. So that's my PM Lite / pastel, because I can't remember which group this is from. So that's sort of my the next step was the Christopher. I'm going to skip these and go to my Nonas, and then I'll finish with this last group of pens. So that's the Christopher 13 Junior new. Just love that ebonite, so I kept one. That's the blue, just love it, kept it. That's a junior, so I try and keep one of each model, and that's a faceted cap junior. And of course I had to keep one of these. So that's my Nona 14 with this Omas material. So that's sort of my personal collection of my own pens. Now, I have some others that I'll show you. So this is a prototype. Even has some laser engraving on it. This is a prototype of a pen I made for a store a long time ago, and I made 25 of them, but out of blue lapis. And I have number 20 of 25, and I can't find it. It's probably with my other Ritchies, but I just couldn't find it in time. Now, I have some special collaboration pens. So this was Stephen Leahy. He's a really famous airbrush artist in the States. I follow him online. And I sent him a few ebonite pens to paint. And I sent him a nice pen for himself and a couple ebonite pens for him to paint. And this is the one he painted for me. So it's a galaxy with a world down below. And I just love it. Love, love, love it. So black, straight black ebonite pens can be a great base for lots of different things. Which brings me to my next two and then the final. So lots of people know Lisa Permy's World. She's quite an artist. And I sent her some... Well, she purchased a bunch of black and beige ebonite pens from me to use for her artwork. And this is one of her early ones, which is more carved with inlay, which is really cool. And this is gold leaf, I believe, and inlaid opal, which are really cool. So those are great. Again, those for me are collector's pens. I'm not gonna really use them. But this, so I've been holding on to this pen for quite a while, and I have not shown it publicly before now. And some of you may have seen it because she was showing it as she was painting it. But this is my Hobbit pen. So she was doing a Lord of the Rings series, and I had asked her if she would paint one for me. And I had suggested The Hobbit because, The Hobbit was one of the first books I can remember reading. And, I've had a love affair with fantasy ever since. I've read them all. All the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and tons of other books. So it's Bilbo on the top, Smaug on the bottom, and this is the coolest thing. She translated London Pen Co. into Elvish script and put it on the section. Which is cool. So yeah, these pens make me happy. Uh-oh. Oh, phew. Yeah. Darren, yeah, black, you gotta be real patient with it, but... So yeah, that's my collection, my personal collection of maker pens. Now, I have a lot of other pens, but they're not... That's what I have from other makers. And I will continue to grow that collection because that's... I don't need... Like, I have my dad's Mont Blanc pens. I have his Pelikan pens. I really don't need any more of those, so I will continue to buy from other makers. Buy and trade. I'm always up for a good trade. Does anybody have any questions? Want to see any of the pens again? I have to really check this, make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. I'm not coming to the California pen show, no. My next pen show will be DC. Well, maybe Montreal in May. But DC, San Francisco. Yes, Bart. Yes, I know it was shipped last September, but it's been in a box waiting for me. Army men and crayons. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the green black matte lease is. I just picked it up off his table and said, I'm taking this, because I had traded him another pen that he gave to his daughter, so that's the one I picked up and walked away with. All right. Well, this was done mostly to figure things out, and at least I figured out that Instagram is not not great. So I'm gonna do some investigating, and I think I'll have to bite the bullet and subscribe to that software that allow you to simulcast, because for some reason most people just want to go on Instagram, and even though I think it's much better, you get a much better picture and much more options on YouTube. So if nobody else has any questions, I'll sign off, and we'll see you in a few weeks. I'm going to do a live release of the next batch of pens, probably first weekend in December. That's if I get them done, because I still have to sand, polish, inspect, all that fun stuff, photograph, and get ready for the site. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.